Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Here's some cracker candy I made. Let me just show you real quick. Homemade. Good. Real simple recipe. I forget where I got them. Anyways, I know long overdue live video, but yeah. Anyways, YouTube, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus for the rest of us. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Boxing Day. Let's see what else is there. Oh, and Winter Solstice. Anyways, I decided to throw this live video together just to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and, you know, good holidays. It's been a while since I actually done a live stream, mostly because of what's been going on with the fence. Some of you guys probably already know my channel has slowed down considerably, but I should change soon. I'll just move this over. These are so good. It's basically a cracker candy. One secret ingredient, well, it's not really a secret, but one ingredient is crackers, so that's why it's cracker candy. And I think for a party that's coming up, I'm going to make a pie that really went over well. It's a curry crusted butterscotch. Not 100% that I'm going to make it quite yet, but I got all the stuff for it, so I think I probably will. Anyways, hopefully you guys are doing great. As I mentioned in a previous video, but I didn't really expand upon, I actually have a new channel coming out calling it's Raxian's Health and Wellness. And there's going to be different sections to it. One is going to be like a therapy section. I have to iron that out a little bit more, especially need a merchandise. I kind of still got to finish the one for here, but something that's a little more professional for that one. Basically, there's going to be several sections. One is going to be fitness, exercises, proper form, improper form, kind of those things. Next section would be nutrition, what's good for you to eat and what's not, and some things you can cheat on, some things you just stay away from. As I mentioned before, therapy is going to be a couple of different things, from color and sound therapy to just if you've seen some of my videos, like the stream, trickling stream kind of thing, it'll be like either visual, auditory, not ASMR stuff, because that's just more soft sounding kind of stuff. This is more just a general feelings, not just relaxation, but like sometimes you may want to have something that'll rejuvenate or entice. Like if you're prepping for an EDM concert, for instance, sometimes you need a precursor, or not even a precursor, something that'll start get you going, kind of like a ramp up, and then when you go, you can go full blast kind of thing. Others would be well, as I said, like relaxation. And I'm going to try to make a video where it's going to be kind of like white noise, but not just white noise, because white noise is just a kind of thing, which I could probably do that. But this will be more like a brain emptier, kind of like for those that have an issue where you have too many thoughts and you need something to preoccupy your mind. So it's not going to be relaxation, because not everyone needs to relax, and it's not going to be an antagonizer or an exciter. It's going to be more like a distractor, kind of like constantly giving you enough information so that if you have it on in the background, it'll be constant other word of like stream of thought consciousness, various jumbled words, images, just things that if you watch and listen, or if you can't watch it, you could just listen. It'll be so much to think about, like various different topics that too quick that your mind will keep trying to catch up, that you'll be able to focus. It's going to help you focus. Basically, it's like similar to like, you've probably seen it where you see those flashcards, like, tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind. You know, like a psychologist, you see like bird, house, plane, you know, that kind of thing. But it's going to be like a constant stream of various random words with no patterns. And some of them will have patterns. So I'll have like one video that's going to be like randomness. Another is going to be like themed. But I'm not going to mention what the theme is. That's what basically is going to be the part of it. It's going to be like a themed playlist. But the goal is to try to figure out what the theme is. It may seem like it might be something in the beginning. Like, for instance, I might say something like house, car, yard, lawnmower. And then you think like, oh, maybe like a suburb family. But then it turns out to be like urban development kind of thing. Something along that lines. But it'll keep you engaged to the point where your mind is trying to play catch up to the words and try to figure out the puzzle. Some puzzles may be easy, some may be a little more difficult. But this will allow you to have the distraction part will hit your brain. It will come at your brain, so that you might be trying to study or might be trying to focus on something, but you have so many different random thoughts going on that this will take place of that. This will allow your brain to, all those thoughts that would normally be going all over the place, to focus on one thing while your consciousness is focusing on another thing. And let's see if that will help. Keep on bumping into this. And others will be like different color patterns. Here, let me give you an example. Like evoking a response. This is not going to be part of it. This is just a picture or painting my dad drew. But it'll evoke a response. Like what thoughts or ideas come from seeing this. Something like that. From just simple color therapy to more complex design to various different things. But it's a work in progress. Where'd that go? Okay. So just to recap what I've been up to, I know my videos have been kind of quiet lately, and since there's been one here and one there, I was doing daily. I realized that the daily grind, now if I was like PewDiePie status or Markiplier or Jacksepticeye, daily would make sense. It's feasible. It'd be a job. It'd be promoting and growing in that sense, which would be great. But I'm not at that financial level that they are to be able to do that. So if that happens, then sure, and I'll do more daily stuff. And I have plenty of ideas, just they're stacking up. Problem is they're stacking up so much that now they start to fall on top of each other. But yeah, and I've had setbacks. As some of you may know about the surgery, but I'm not going to rehash that because I've talked about that in the main video as well as a couple other comments in other videos. So, but if you want to check that out, I'll link somewhere, or maybe just put in the recommended videos of that. Then when I got back, a lot of it had to do with the recovery. Now, with something like that, you can't really move or do much. And even if you want to, you can't. And believe me, I would go to the gym and I'd see all these guys working out like 110%, seeing like all this massive amount of weight. And thinking like, you know what? I'm going to take it easy because I don't want to spend X amount of money to repair again what happened, kind of thing. Then after a little bit, right when I started getting back to a point where it was more mobile, I had issues with my dog. Now, I didn't really tell many people about this because it's been busy, But not exactly sure what happened, but he basically he stopped seeing things. His eyes got swollen and puffy, and it was a concern. And then I went to the ophthalmologist, the vet ophthalmologist, and it turns out that he's 100% blind in one eye and 25% blind in the other. And wasn't sure why. Potentially that was a tick-borne disease kind of thing. I won't go into too much detail, but yeah, there's a medication that he was on that he had to take like eye drops every 6 hours and pills and all these other things. It's been racking up, stacking the cost for all these things. So, but as you can tell, having to do something every 6 hours really pulled me away from doing anything else, and that was a grind. Difficult financially, as well as, you know, you don't want your dog to have to go through this, bumping into things. It's just disheartening. Anybody that has a pet will know how this feels. If you don't, it's kind of hard to relay what that's like, but just, I don't know. It's like seeing like a good friend of yours suddenly not being able to do the things they normally, like a drinking buddy or a golfing buddy or even Pokemon Go buddy, and suddenly they can't do it because of something that they have or they're going through. They just physically can't do it, and suddenly it's like, whoa, what happened to you, kind of thing. And yeah, so good news is after 2 to 3 weeks of constant focusing on the medication stuff, he's 100% on both eyes. His sight was restored on both eyes, 100%. And now just doing the medications. He's still on medications, but we're trying to keep him there. So yeah, he can now see, and we could definitely tell, because at first he was bumping into everything. He had a cone, so he couldn't scratch his nose, and it's just sad seeing him just bump into things. But now he can see everything, and it's been tough. But yeah, I didn't think it would be as tough as it was. But so that's what I've been doing. I've been focusing on that with everything going on with the holidays. So there wasn't much I did or didn't do with Thanksgiving and such. But I am thankful for my life and for his eyesight and for the ability to do the things, do this, to enjoy this, and reach out with you guys, even though I haven't really got a chance to talk to you guys. And for it was circumstances that really beyond, like, both were actually beyond my control, but it's something I had to do. Plus the seasons of getting together and all that stuff. So there's been a lot of stuff going on with Pokemon Go, a lot of stuff going on with actually more Harry Potter stuff has been ramping up. I'm still on the fence about the game, but it's gotten better in general. With like, I've just seen some improvement. I will go into with Pokemon Go, which I find is the new feature, is the new buddy system update. And that seems to be more aligned with the way the Pokemon game has been going, where you feed them berries, you walk with them, you pet them, make them your friend, you spend time with them. And I think that's really cool. I like it. I personally like it. I haven't gotten the chance to go on that 100%. Maybe I'll do a video just getting all the hearts. And there's new Pokemon out there. I think the one I just got recently was... Yeah, I actually have the game up. Snover is not... Oh yeah, there's a new hat Pikachu, a winter hat Pikachu. Let's see, recent. Let me see. Come on, games. Oh yeah, Cubchoo. I just show it because it's just cute looking. Cubchoo. And oh yeah, one other thing I've been playing a lot of. Okay, it's the next day, so I can claim that reward. Is the Star Trek Fleet Command. Oh, here's the Pikachu hat. Okay, let me just catch him real quick. Nice hat. It's like the ugly sweater. Well, they'll probably do like an ugly sweater version at one point. Oh, I don't not. We want to restart. Yeah, my computer's been wanting to do like updates like all the time now. I don't like this forced Microsoft obsolescence. If it wasn't such a pain to get all this stuff working with Ubuntu or Linux, I probably would. What someone needs to do is create a Linux package for not just like OBS for Linux and Adobe for Linux, but have a all-in-one where you just upload on a Linux box and just one install and click, and it'll just grab all your settings and then just do it. So I had one my buddy that was going to evolve, but this is the one I have right now, which obviously is my favorite. It just rolled over to a new day, so all the hearts are reset. What's this? So I'm also working on my Pokédex as well, slowly. And I did do a video, which I haven't uploaded yet, so that's delayed, for the December Community Day. Let's see. All right. Oh yeah, I gotta resurrect those guys, right? Let's see, further news. New episodes of My Hero are out, and new episodes of Rick and Morty are out. There's supposed to be one coming out soon, but I think it's been delayed because of the season. And there's a new show that I want to suggest to you. It's a Netflix only, so if you don't have Netflix, sorry. But it's called Dragon Prince. It's a very interesting show. Kind of reminds me of more fantasy-based with kind of style comedy as well as drawing style, like of Avatar: The Last Airbender. But as I said, it's more fantasy-based than less Asian lore kind of sense. Yeah. That's the best way of putting it. I've been hooked. I'm almost done with the third season. So yeah, as soon as I start, it may go a little slow in the first episode or two, but it gets right into it. It's a really good show. Let's see. I gotta finish Fallout. I'm just looking at Fallout 4, and I gotta finish that. And I haven't played Limbo or the other Epic games yet, because I realized that I want to keep games fresh and new, and instead of just doing complete playthroughs, because Limbo is the type of game that can take a long time to play through. And I know, like, when I see other YouTubers play, it's okay for some games, but other games it's kind of like you're just watching them and you watch them like, okay. There's some videos that you can just watch and be like kind of zone out, but I want it to be something more where you get to see the game like, oh, that's kind of cool, and just kind of get little snippets of it and see what the graphics look like, the sound, the music, and just gameplay. But I don't necessarily want to have you, unless there's a demand for it. Like I remember watching Detroit No Human. I watched it for the different choices, but that, I mean, you could tell in some of those game playthroughs that you didn't actually watch the whole way through. You're only watching like decisions and dialogue, and they cut a lot of it out, which great for edit stuff, but for live it's difficult. You can't really do that live. So I may have to rethink that. I think I'm just going to do app games live, because that's something that you can play, showcase, and not have to actually, a lot of these like smartphone app games you can't really win. Though there is a point that I've realized that there's some games, there's some like a winning point. Some of it's arbitrary. Like for instance, for Star Trek Fleet Command, my winning point I created is I want to be able to get the Enterprise and reach the Sol system. So once I've accomplished that, I'll consider that winning the game. Now that's not by any means the end of the game. There's a lot more, especially with this new release. By the way, the new release, let me just go through that real quick, because I know there might be some from there that watch this. Though those that are watching this from that game know exactly what I'm talking about. But this is for like the new people. They've expanded, at least for server 30, they expanded the the level from 39 to 40 plus, and they expanded the regions that you can explore, including the missions and such. It's called a deep space, where you can go further out. And they just introduced the G4 generation for resources for ship upgrades. Now they showed the ISS Jellyfish as being the latest ship that you can build that you can see. But if you look at, and here's a hint, you can look at the various factions and the blueprints in those factions to see the G4, and just the look of those, man, that's like a whole other level, quite literally. So for the hardcore end game players, you got a whole new, basically expansion to kind of explore, and I can't wait to see it. Again, my end game goal is the Enterprise, but I mean, if I get beyond that to take a look, I might play that. So, but that's also been a lot of time, and I still have to play Battle Cats. But there's a couple other app games I saw that I want to always showcase new things, not necessarily old stuff, because anybody can watch Fallout 4 gameplay. I mean, there's still a lot of Fortnite stuff. I got to the point where I see Fortnite, I just click off. I'm like, no, I could play it. I don't have to watch it. And but then there's other, I mean, there are other end game scenarios, like for instance, like for Star Trek, for instance, mine was Soul and Enterprise. But until recently with this new update, I guess the end game would be reaching 39, and I'm trying to think. Maybe like getting epic armadas, or trying to think what other things. Well, getting like the bosses and also the events. For instance, Pokemon Go, your end game might be trying to catch like a perfect 100% Gardevoir for me, but also level 40 for the game. It's things like that, like self-employed or self-imposed goals that you can reach. Because there's some games where you play it and you can get to the end, but there's no real point. There's no real story. Like there's a lot of these like merge games and zombie games where you just keep getting stronger and stronger and getting faster and bigger items, but that's not really a goal. That's just getting deeper and deeper in the game. There's no real story. It's not like once you reach a certain level, it says, okay, you've beaten the game kind of thing. You can keep going. No, it'd be great if they did that, but they're smart. They're not going to do that because it's money. Let's see. Yeah, so Christmas has been weird. It's, for at least for me, it's been kind of a non-holiday. I mean, I feel much better, healthier, doing more things. It's just, with so many things going on, I haven't been able to catch up with a lot of things. And finances is another thing, so that's always been on my mind. So I haven't been able to relax in the sense that I could enjoy things more, at least in that sense. There are other things that I've been getting involved in that I can't talk about on here, and but now remember what I said about a year or so ago about certain images and certain cryptographic puzzles that will be connected to other puzzles. That now they've nicely packaged certain things called ARGs, alternate reality games, or something similar to that. But I don't really like that term, so I'm not gonna. I mean, it may be considered an ARG, but we'll see. So now for just want to bless that year. So with My Little Pony being done for Gen 4, this is for the My Little Pony fans who might be watching. A lot of people are probably wondering what are the content providers going to do. Now, I've diversified even before starting this channel, so I'm okay. But I'm still going to review the older episodes. I was kind of still in the middle of a season 2. I've kind of held back a little bit because of allowing the show to kind of settle now that the end episode has done, because I was going to go into the end of season 9, but that kind of lightning in the bottle event already happened, so I'm just going to let it settle. Really good episodes. I won't get into it. I'll just wait for the review. I did watch it because I kind of had to, because I would have been spoiled. And there's a lot of rumors with the 4.5 minis. There's a Dr. Wolf on his channel mentioned they had like an intro, but then they took it off, and he wasn't sure why. My suggestion on that, or my thoughts on that, is that they probably took it down. It's not something as big as like, oh, the graphics. They probably just took it down, honestly, to possibly expand it. Maybe they put it private so they can make a bigger trailer. So like, instead of having what they had, they can take it, expand it, and they didn't want to just do it on the fly, so they kind of took it down to work on it. Why they didn't keep it up? Probably because they didn't want to track the. I'm not sure why. That's just a guess. Is that they did do either retool it. Maybe it's like they did the Sonic the Hedgehog, like you mentioned. Like maybe they're changing the look of it to appeal better. I don't know. I'm not sure. But there's also the IDW comics for the so-called 4+, which is basically everything that happened after the end episode, Gen 5, and of course fan fictions. I still have to finish my fan fiction, so if anybody wants to read it, it's archive you'll own. Just ask in comments. If you ask in comment, I'll give you a link to it. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm working on it. Just like everything I'm working on. I have been I have been working on some other things that I'm not going to quite mention yet, because I haven't gotten to a point where I can produce something reliable that would be interesting yet, but it will come onto this channel, not the health and wellness channel, soon, if I could get to a point where it's something that I can showcase. Hopefully you guys will like it, at least those that are into the certain things I'm into. We'll see how it turns out, but it's something that I've been working on, trying to learn and study and such. It's not something grandiose. It's just a hobby that I wanted to push more into more serious development kind of thing. And that's it, really. Just visiting with family, just trying to keep things afloat here. Tell me what you guys have been doing. What's your story? For the Fleet Command crew, what are you doing for the holidays? Are you going to any parties, get-togethers? You know, what are your plans? I know Galaxy Chat is a miasma of cesspoolery, as I can call it. So I don't really take conversations there at all. In fact, I wish I could just mute that personally. But those that are cool, just tell me what you've been up to or what you're going to do. You know, fill me in on what your plans and goals are for Christmas as well as for New Year's and such. For Pokemon goers, tell me how you're doing, if you've gotten all your Pokedex filled out yet, or well, as much as you can, obviously. They're still eking out the new Unova stuff. And I have to say, Team Rocket, Nick, trainer tips. I know I haven't talked about you in a while, but you're right. They're hard. First time fighting, I was like, yeah, I got this. I got my team set up. I'm gonna roll right in. It's like, nope, lost. 3 times in a row, lost. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to be a little more focused on this. It was kicking your complacency, really. So that was interesting. I was like, okay, challenge on. I'm gonna work on that a little bit. So that was cool. I don't like saying I lose. I like losing, but the fact that it wasn't easy made it very interesting. Trying to think of other games. Nothing that I've seen, even in the bigger showcase, has really got me wanting to run out and grab it. Yeah, I mean, there's some topics or some titles in the Switch that look interesting. Okay, but nothing has really grabbed me. Actually, it's kind of funny. I downloaded an old MMORPG called The Realm. It was originally created by Sierra Games. Sierra is kind of now defunct, but The Realm still exists. Now it's an old graphic, choppy graphic, kind of like in between Meridian 59 and EverQuest, kind of during that era. But it's playable, and I've been tinkering around with it. Now, of course, the gameplay is clunky, but it's gotten kind of fun, even in its clunkiness. And I'll give you a rundown of games of yesteryear that I played. Well, no particular order, because I'm not going to remember it in order. Now, everyone's going to laugh, haha, Pong, right? Like, no. Actually, I played Pong once or twice, but that was just because it was there, like, oh, let me see this thing. And I'm not going to mention, like, Centipede and Frogger and Asteroids and all that stuff. That's, everybody's played that. Even people who are playing games now have probably played it a little bit once. Let's see. Favorites that I've gotten into, Wasteland. Wasteland is the grandfather of post-apocalyptic. If you like Fallout, Wasteland is the one that started it all. Let's see, Ultima 4. Actually, Ultima 3 was okay, but Ultima 4 was really good. Ultima 5 was interesting. Kind of got weird at some point, like always having to fight or run kind of thing. Tron, like the arcade Tron games. And I do have Wasteland 2. I haven't played it yet, but I do have it. Bard's Tale. Actually, any fantasy RPG back in the day was good. Let's see, what's that? The dungeon. Oh, one game is really different, fantasy based, but very different. It's a game where you don't fight anything mostly. It's called a Below the Root, which was really cool game. And maybe I'll showcase some of these things, maybe not. Maybe it'll just be like a 2-minute, like, this is Below the Root, take a look kind of thing. One game I really liked, which was a while back, called The Magic Candle. And what I really liked about it is you have a party. But in the party, you can actually split up and have like one person like spend like 8 hours, not real-time hours, but like 8 hours in-game to work to make money. But then you could like let them do their thing, and then you go and do something else. And then you come back, bring them back, and they suddenly have this extra money, or they're researching something, so they spend their time doing research, and you don't have to interact with them. You can let them just kind of do their day. And I really like that concept of a game where you can have a party of different people doing different things, and then you could do your thing, whatever it is that you're doing, set them to tasks to do different things, come back, pool your resources, and then develop further. I wish I could play that again. Other games I played, I'm going to try to stay away from the MMOs for at least for a moment. Fallout, the original Fallout, probably one of the best, except for Wasteland, is Fallout 1. The end boss, I'm not going to get spoiled away, but just the whole concept of that. Fallout 1 was what started the increased enjoyment of the post-apocalyptic RPG. I mean, obviously, with all these different stories and games that are coming out, even games that are mimicking it. Let's see, what else? I play a lot. Well, Final Fantasy VII was probably a big one of mine. I played the beginning part of 8. I played 6 and 5 and 4. I'm talking about the US title numbers, not the Japan title numbers. So in other words, Final Fantasy VII with Aeris, for instance, and that, because Japan has their numbering and States has their numbering, so it's kind of different. Let's see what else. This is a game. It's an old game. I'm trying to remember the name of it, I'm drawing a blank. It's a 3D game, very old graphics, like kind of like Doom type graphics. But you're going around in a maze. Well, the first one, the alternate reality, the dungeon. That's right. That one is a good game for its time. I'm trying to think of anything that stuck out, like old Atari games or something like that. Oh, there's a video about E.T. There's actually a Netflix special on this about the death of the console, and it talks about the history of like Atari, ColecoVision, and television, and how games went up, and there was like a crash, a hard crash. And it was roughly when E.T. extraterrestrial game for the Atari came out. It was right that time. And there's this whole special on it. You see like this whole like landfill of all these ET games out there. It's just ridiculous. Now, basically, to Cliff Notes version, gaming went up, hit that peak, crashed hard, settled, then slowly out of that different, instead of just being like gaming, it just started spreading out. Nintendo, PlayStation, then Xbox, and then they all started doing the thing that right in the middle, PC game just kept on going forward and up, while the others kind of went up and down, up and down. But that's after the crash. E.T., I played it, and I could see why it got the reviews it did, because it's a very convoluted, difficult game to play. Just not just glitchy, it's just very, it doesn't hold your hand, but it's a lot of things you have to figure out that's not necessarily fun. So but it's one of those things where you just, you're playing it, and you want to get through the game, so you just kind of have to muscle through it. That's probably the best way of putting it. Yeah. Okay, now to MMOs. That's easy. Meridian 59, EverQuest, World of Warcraft, in that order. The Realm's in there somewhere. I did play Ultimate Online like once for like 5 minutes. Didn't really get into it, but that was because I didn't know of its existence when it first came out, so I didn't get the initial like, oh, this is cool, let me get into it. I love the whole Ultimate franchise. I just got into it too late. I'm trying to think of anything. Well, MMORPGs for like smartphone is kind of like a misnomer, because it's not as, you're sitting there with a keyboard, grinding away with people. I mean, you are, but it's a different feel when you're on an app. It's kind of like you're just playing the game. There's people there. You're not really. It's kind of hard. It's a different feel. It's a different sensation than just being here and doing it. Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about doing Elder Scrolls Online, because I've been revisiting Skyrim a lot, and I thought kind of cool. I've heard mixed reviews. Some people said it was okay. Some people said it was not that great. Expectations versus reality kind of thing. But maybe I'll get that for myself for Christmas. I don't know. Actually, I don't really know what's coming out there these days. My interest in games have kind of waned for a little bit, just because of the sheer amount of time. Anyways, that's what I've been doing in a nutshell. I won't stick on here too long. I just wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Hopefully you had a really good get-together season. I know, well, it is technically Christmas right now, at least in the East Coast. It's rolling into Christmas in the middle Ohio area soon, within like maybe 10 minutes. In California, you still got a few hours to go, so it's still Christmas Eve. So Santa hasn't gotten to you yet, but he will soon. Hopefully you get mostly everything that you want. I was like, why not? Why everything? Well, there's a lot of people wanting a lot of strange things, and sometimes not my choice, but sometimes there's some things that are not good for you. I won't judge. That's not my thing. But hopefully you get enough things that will bring you joy. And here's a little small word for those that don't have anyone, because there are a lot of people, the quiet minority, those that may not follow the holiday. You know, you're not Christian, you're not Catholic, you're not into the season. Maybe you are, but you're not into the Roman seasoning of this. Roman season, that sounds strange. I think you get what I mean. Some people that don't follow it for religious purposes, some people don't follow it for spiritual purposes. Some people aren't even exposed to it, like different countries, different belief systems in the point that they understand the season, they just don't adhere to it. For instance, there's a lot of people that follow winter solstice versus actual, well, I won't say Christmas, but I'll say Yuletide. There's a lot of different belief systems. And even with winter solstice, it's a time of renewal. And there's a lot of good comparisons in that. Renewal, rebirth. The reason why winter is what winter is, it's allow things to... Now, a lot of people think of like, oh, it's negative, things die off and such, but dying off does not necessarily mean death. It could be a chance for you to reinvent yourself, to kind of ease off the things of the year before and ramp up for, I won't say New Year's resolution because that's kind of overused, but just taking a deep breath and starting something good for yourself. And for those that are out there that don't follow these things, or they're too inundated with Christmas commercialism in a sense of like, okay, I enjoy presents, I enjoy visiting family, the food, the sights, the sounds, but I'm sick and tired of all these commercials and having to buy things for everybody, because there's a lot of people that enjoy the season, but they don't want to get hit over the head a million times with buy this, buy this. Make a decision and stick to it. Now, there's a movie called Christmas with the Cranks, which it's Tim Allen. If you know me, you like Tim Allen. But the principle of the movie is about them wanting to like go on a vacation instead of celebrating Christmas, and they want to spend time, just the two of them as a couple. Like, and hey, instead of like having to do all this, setting up the tree and do all this stuff, they decide to go to the beach. Now, obviously, it's a Christmas movie, so they decide to change their mind. But the beginning part of that premise is not necessarily a bad thing. Why not, instead of having to buy all these things for people, and think about this? Sometimes you may have lightning in the bottle, or you strike gold, and you buy a great gift for someone. Like, wow, you really hit the spot. You really remembered something. They appreciate it. But a lot of times you get a lot of stuff that gets dust on the shelf, or gets used a couple times, or maybe it's kind of good, kind of like, it's nice to have, but just things that it's, they don't get me wrong, people appreciate it, like, wow, this is great, but sometimes it may not necessarily be the most positive thing. So why not do that? Decide, why don't we save money to go on a trip somewhere, or think of it as maybe possibly something that you want to do that you've never done. Like, I want to suddenly learn how to paint or play the guitar, or treat yourself and maybe buy a guitar for your like a Christmas gift, and then next year comes along, you can play a song. Sometimes it's not always about what you get, but it's also about what you can do that might benefit others and yourself in a positive way. And I don't mean in a greedy way, but like, well, think of it this way. 11 months out of the year, you're always concerned about school, career. But think of it this way. You spend time in school, you spend time working, you do all this stuff to obtain goals. But there's a lot of hobbies that you may or may not have, or that may not be thinking about, or you just don't have the time. Maybe as a Christmas gift, you allow yourself to pick up that hobby. Like maybe you always wanted to try pottery, but you were afraid to jump into it. Maybe instead of having to spend countless hours, doing all this stuff, maybe have everyone agree like, okay, this year, let's all pick a hobby that we want to do and let's just do it. That way, as a family, you can do your thing, they can do their thing. And you could also exchange it, like, they pick something, you can pay for it kind of thing if you want to exchange that. I know it's not a box of toys or electronics, like, oh, open this up and surprise. Just something to consider. I've been working on that for this year. Pluses and minuses to it. So. Oh, and in the middle of all this, before Thanksgiving, on a little while before, I won't give you the exact dates, I had my birthday. But I didn't do any videos or anything like that. I talked about it on a couple channels or a couple games, but that was it. Went out to one of my favorite restaurants called P.F. Chang's. Really good food. And I'm going to be setting up a D&D campaign, which kind of got stalled because some people were sick during the time. So maybe that'll happen soon, I'm hoping. Oh, and ice cream cake. Fantastic. So I will be... I know this isn't as exciting as I thought. I wish more people would come on, but I know I haven't done live streams much, and it's kind of late, so I'll leave the topic of discussion to you. What would you like to see? Now, obviously, I'm going to be doing my own thing, my own content, but throw it out there. Tell me what you think, what you want to see, what you want me to do. I have thought about doing this, and leave a comment if you think this is a good idea. And it was just brought up to me about earlier today that maybe I should do like a story time where all it is just a video of me reading a story. If you think my voice is good, I mean, I think my voice is okay. I mean, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad. I thought maybe just like read a storybook. Now, with this whole stupid COPPA thing, it's not going to be like a kid's story thing. It's just going to be like a story. And it's not going to be like a 30-minute long thing unless it's a really intriguing story. I'll leave it up to you guys. If you think you'd like to have like a story time with Raxian, leave a comment. All you have to just say is story time with Raxian, yes. That's all you have to say. You don't have to give an explanation or anything like that. You can even do a off-brand YouTube account if you want to stay anonymous. That's fine with me. I'm still going to do more app game stuff. And I will get back to doing more like You Laugh, You Lose and Reddit stories and stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that's out there that I want to showcase. Because internet always produces a lot of weird things, and I'm going to try to use that to garner more interest. Anyways, for this year, my goal for this year, I was going to say, oh yeah, 10,000 subs by the end of the year. Well, if I was 100%, then yeah. But one thing that these sidelong things have kind of delayed me is proving that you can't always expect things. So next year, yes, my goal is still to hit 10,000 subs, 40,000 viewers, which doesn't mean anything to you, but it just, if you're new to this, subscribe. But more importantly, I want to actually get this rolling so that this channel is self-sustaining, but not just for me, but for you. I'm going to make this more of a two-way thing. I'm going to try to make things that are interesting, compelling, exciting, informative, all around. It's not going to be just pratfall meme things or cringy stuff. It's going to be try to be a little bit of everything. So I know like a lot of channels have to be like, okay, you're going to do cooking and all you're going to do is cooking. But I want this to be about the experience, not just for me. And one other thing I was thinking of doing on is like an online story idea. I'm still playing with the idea of basically creating like a video of like, let's just say I'm sitting here, and based on which video you click, it would be a decision like, sit here and stare at the wall, then you can watch that video, or stand up and eat something and click on that video, and actually have a story based on the different videos. Now, it's going to be kind of tough to do with everything else. But again, if you think that's a good idea, leave a comment. What I'm doing is I want to entertain you guys. So Give me stuff that you like and give me stuff that you don't like. And that'll be my template for the new year. Anyways, again, hopefully you guys are doing great. Stay awesome. And as a friend of mine, Mark, would say, oh, what was it? I just lost it. Well, I'll change it up a little bit. Keep it real. If you got it real, keep it twice. That's close enough. Close enough. Anyways, Rockstars, Wolfpack, YouTube, you guys are wonderful. Even the memesters and the haters and the comment grabbers and all that stuff. Hopefully you had a good year, or at least hopefully you had some joy, some fun during this year. And let's look forward to another great year of happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say, and the colorful little trees and the paintings of our lives. I know that's so sappy and so, but it works. Anyways, catch you guys later. Peace out.